important is the Holy Spirit. And
welcome to the way of mastery, to the way of mastery. I'm EARL Purdy, and I want to welcome you to the way of mastery here on Facebook Live. We're going to go deep as we do every time we do the way of mastery together. That means that we're going to get out of this world and we're going to go into another way of consciousness, another level of consciousness. And we are going to do the section in the way of mastery that's called Creating Mastery. Creating Mastery on page 101 in the way of mastery. We're going to be doing the section called Creating Mastery. Creating Mastery. Creating Mastery. We're going to do it. That's what we're going to do. On page 101 in the way of mastery. In the way of the heart. Creating Mastery on page 101. It's going to be in the way of the heart, lesson 8, dropping pebbles into the pool of awareness. The section called Creating Mastery, page 1001. Now, if you really want to get the most out of this, remember that you don't have to believe these ideas. You don't have to accept these ideas. You don't have to even welcome these ideas. Some of these ideas you may actively resist. 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 Some of these ideas you may find hard to believe. Some of these ideas you may find hard to believe. Some of these ideas you may find quite startling. Some of these ideas might startle you. You are not asked to judge and analyze the ideas at all. We're not doing this so that we can analyze the ideas. We are doing this so that we can hear the ideas and use the ideas. We want to hear what it's saying first. You are not asked to judge and analyze the ideas at all. Their use will give the ideas meaning to you and will show you that the ideas are true. I say the use of the ideas will give the ideas meaning to you and will show you that the ideas are true. That's what they're going to do. I say the use of the ideas are going to give the ideas meaning to you and show you that the ideas are true. That's what they're going to do. Using it. So if you use these ideas, you will see that the ideas are true. That's what we're going to do. We're going to use the ideas so that we'll see that the ideas are true. Page 101. Mastery. Where does mastery come from? It says mastery comes when fear has been completely dissolved. So first of all, if you're going to have mastery, you're going to have to dissolve your fears. You're going to have to allow your fears to be dissolved. And the way you allow your fears to be dissolved is to give yourself another way of looking at things and giving yourself another perception of things. Now, fear is dissolved not by fearing the fear. So you don't get rid of fear. You don't get rid of fear by fearing the fear. You don't get rid of fear by hating the fear. So hating your fears, that will not get rid of your fears. Fearing your fears will not get rid of your fears. Hating your fears will not get rid of your fears. Judging yourself for being afraid or having fears will not get rid of your fears. So how do you get rid of your fears? The way that you get rid of your fears is to look upon you having fears and look upon yourself with perfect innocence. If you want to get rid of your fears, you have to learn how to look upon your fears and look upon yourself with perfect innocence. So the way of mastery is saying that actually the way that you would get rid of your fear would be to learn to look upon even your fears as innocent and also looking at yourself as innocent. So, in other words, you should embrace your fears in the same way that a scientist would watch the ripples of a little pebble that's been dropped into a pool of water so that they can see how the pebbles have created other ripples and other temporary disturbances in the field or the surface of the water. So you just kind of step back off of your fears and just go, I'm going to kind of take a look to see how my fears are affecting me. I'm going to give myself an opportunity to see how my fears are affecting me, how they're affecting my life. So as you look within and notice the things that you've become afraid of and how fear has constricted your creativity. So what does fear do? Fear constricts your creativity. What else does fear do? Fear restricts your joy. What else does fear do? Fear restricts your playfulness. Fear restricts your unlimitedness. So as you look within and you notice the things that you become afraid of, and when you look at how fear has constricted your joy, you merely look, but how do you look? You look with innocence. You look with innocence. Page 101 in the Way of Mastery, the Way of the Heart. I'm doing this section called Creating Mastery. So you look at your fears and you look at the results of your fears, and of course, the Way of Mastery says you look at it with wonder and you say, oh, I see how that ripple has affected the creation that I call my life. You could say, I'm looking at how my fears have created the creation that I call my life. And then you ask yourself, do I like it? Do I like what that ripple is creating? Do I like what my fear is creating? And you would probably say, not anymore. I don't like what my fear creates. Well, good. I don't like what my fear is creating. I don't like what that ripple is creating. So you know what I'm going to do with it? I think I'll be rid of it. I'm ready to be rid of my fear. I'm ready to be rid of my fear. I'm ready to be rid of my jealousy. I'm ready to be rid of my insecurity, my sense of separation. Tell yourself, just take a look at it. Look at what your fear has done. Look at what your guilt has done. Look at what your anger has done. And then ask yourself, do I like it? Do I like what my level of consciousness is creating for me? Do I like what my mind is creating for me? Do I like what my thoughts are creating for me? And if you say you don't like it and you're ready to be rid of it, just tell yourself, I think I'll be rid of that. I think I'll be rid of that. And then once you say you're going to be rid of that fear or rid of that guilt or rid of that anger, then you want to go, what can I replace it with? What can I replace my fear with? What would I be willing to replace my fear with? You know what? I think I'd be willing to replace my fear with love. I think I will be ready to replace my lack with abundance. I think I'm ready to replace any sickness with health. I think I'm ready to replace any guilt with innocence. I'm ready to replace any conflict with peace. I'm willing to replace any sense of separation with oneness. So that's what I'm willing to do. I want to get rid of my fear. I'm ready to be rid of it. I'm tired of the way that it affects me and my life and the way that I see and feel. But I'm going to replace it. I've got to replace it. And I'm going to replace it with love. So do you get that, Yeshua? Do you get that, Diana, Jacqueline, Tosh, Emily? Do you hear what I'm saying? Diana, Latricia, Kim, Diane, Jacqueline, Nancy. Do you all hear what I'm saying? Are you with me? And all you other mighty companions that are watching? So what is mastery? Mastery is a state in which you have embraced yourself as a ceaseless creator. and assume complete responsibility for everything that comes into the field of your awareness without judging it. So I'm the divine repetition teacher. So I'm going to say it to you again. So when is mastery? How do you know when you are a master? How do you know that you are a master? Well, you know that you are a master when you have embraced yourself as a ceaseless creator. When you go, I am a creator, and I'm creating every minute, every second, even when I'm asleep, I'm always creating. And guess what? I'm not only a ceaseless creator, I assume complete responsibility. So what is it that I assume complete responsibility for? I assume complete responsibility for everything that comes into the field of my awareness. I assume complete responsibility for everything that I'm aware of. And I also assume complete responsibility for everything that I'm not aware of. I'm a ceaseless creator, and I assume responsibility for everything that I'm aware of. To be a master, what do you tell yourself? What do you tell yourself? To be a master, you tell yourself this. You tell yourself, I am a ceaseless creator, and I assume complete responsibility for everything that comes within my field of awareness. You are a ceaseless creator, and you assume complete responsibility for everything that comes where? Into the field of your awareness. You're responsible for what you see. You're responsible for how you see things. You are responsible for what you see. Means you are responsible for how you see things. You are responsible for how you see anything that you are aware of. Whether you see it with love or whether you see it with fear, you're responsible for that. But don't judge. But don't judge it. 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 You're completely aware. You are completely responsible for everything that you bring into your awareness, but don't judge it. Don't judge it. Why? So that you can simply decide whether it's going to stay or whether it's going to be dissolved in its effects. So I'm going to take responsibility for everything that I'm seeing, and I'm not going to judge it. I'm just going to decide, do I want to keep it or do I want to let it go? What I'm aware of, do I want to keep being aware of it or do I want to let it go? Do you want to stay aware of what you're seeing and feeling, or do you want to let it go? Now, some of the things that you're seeing and you're feeling, you might want to keep. Some of the things that you're seeing and feeling, you might want to stay. But some of the things that you're seeing and experiencing, you might want to be dissolved in its effects. You might want it to be gone. So if you are a master, you can tell. Because if you are a master, you know that you are always creating. You're always creating. And if you are a master, you also know that you're responsible for everything that comes into the field of your awareness. That whatever you are aware of, you're responsible for being aware of it. But don't judge it. Don't judge it. Just decide, do I want to keep this that I'm aware of, that I'm experiencing, or do I want to dissolve it? This is what I love about going over this, because I want to remember what I'm being told. So mastery is fearless. There's no fear in mastery. There's no fear in mastery. Did you hear me? There's no fear in mastery. There's no fear in mastery. So what does that mean? When I say there's no fear in mastery, what does it mean? It means you no longer fear the infinite. It means you no longer fear the creative power of your perfect union with God. When you are a master, you don't fear your creative power, and you know that the creative power comes from your perfect union with God. So where does true creative power come from? True creative power comes from my perfect union with God. I'm trying to get you up on my other. Okay. Do you hear me? So what do you want to tell yourself? What do you want to tell yourself? You want to tell yourself, I and my Father are one. I and my Father are one. I and my Creator are one. That's one expression of mastery. So what's one expression of mastery? Telling yourself that I and my Creator are one. I and my Creator are one. I and my Creator are one. So tell yourself that right now. Tell yourself that. I and my Creator are one. 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 Say that to yourself right now. I and my Creator are one. I and my Creator are one. I and my Creator are one. That is one expression of mastery, is to tell yourself, I and my Creator are one. I and my Creator are one. One. If I, who uttered those words so long ago in your experience of time, if I, Yeshua, can demonstrate to anyone who will look, that consciousness transcends the limited beliefs about the body. Consciousness transcends the limited beliefs about life. Consciousness transcends the beliefs about death that the world seems so determined to defend at all costs. So, if I can demonstrate that only love is real, if we can demonstrate with each other that only love is real, are we willing to demonstrate that only love is real? You see, we have each other. We're the mighty companions. To me, this is more than a class. When I do this, I feel like I'm joining with my mighty companions who all want to get back to mastery and get back to love. That we all have the same goal, to get in touch with our spiritual identity and to get beyond the insanity of the world, which is a projection of our own mind. But we want to transcend that. This is more than a class. This is more than some more ideas that sound really far out to play with. This is really about, I want to be a master. I want to let go of my fear. I see what my fear has created, and I no longer want to create it. I'm a master. That means that I realize that I'm creating all the time. I'm an extension of God, a creation of God, which means I'm creating all the time. And if I'm going to see myself as a master, I've got to understand one thing, that I'm also responsible. I'm responsible, and I assume complete responsibility for everything that comes into the field of my awareness. But I'm not going to judge it. I'm just going to decide, do I want to keep experiencing this, or am I willing to let it go? See, I just remembered that and said it back, because I know what's more important than anything is for me to remember what I am being told. Not analyze it, but to remember it. So it says, if I can demonstrate that only love is real, if I can demonstrate the power to communicate with minds across creation. So you and I have one mind. So we have the power to create. We have the power to communicate with each other through the mind. I know that some of you have had relationships with people before, that you were so connected to that person that you all would pick up on each other's thoughts and sometimes finish each other's sentences, or know what the other one was doing or getting ready to do without them saying anything. We have the power. We have the power to communicate with each other's minds. We have the power to communicate with each other's minds across creations. If I can bring forth creations by joining with other minds. So how do you bring forth creations? You bring forth creations by joining with other minds. So you and I, let's join minds right now. And how do we join minds right now? Well, it says, if I can bring forth creations by joining with other minds who may temporarily think they are just a body. So you and I are minds, and we temporarily may believe that we are bodies. So the way of mastery is saying, we can bring forth creation by joining with other minds who also may temporarily think that they are bodies, such that written words fall upon a page, and that page becomes part of a book that you are now reading. So this book is the result of us joining minds. So this book, The Way of Mastery, that we're studying, is the result of us joining minds. So who are we? We temporarily may think that we are bodies, but we've joined minds, and we brought forth this book that we're now reading. Why? Such that your heart is touched at just the right time. We are doing this so that our hearts can be touched at just the right time. If I can do these things, so too can you. Yeshua says, if I can do these things, if I can create, if I can produce, so can you. And indeed, greater things than these shall you do. Yeshua says that we are going to do greater things than he has done. Beloved friends, take a breath, beloved friends. It is not time to assume complete responsibility for the grand freedom that has been imparted to you. Isn't it time for you to assume complete responsibility for that grand freedom that's been imparted to you by God, the source of your being? Let me ask you again. Isn't it time for you to assume complete responsibility for the grand freedom that's been imparted to you? Isn't it time for you to assume responsibility for the freedom that you've been given? Isn't it time that you assume responsibility for the freedom that you have been given by God? Why don't you assume responsibility for the freedom that you have been given by God? Isn't it time to begin spending time? Isn't it time to begin spending time doing what? Disengaging from your entangled view. Isn't it time for you to let go of your wrong perceptions that holds you to believe that what you feel and what you think is the effect of all of the energies and things that are coming at you from around you? What is an entangled view? An entangled view is you believing that you are the victim of anything that is happening in your awareness. If you want to get rid of your entangled view, if you want to heal your perception, you have to let go of any viewpoint that makes you believe that you are the effect of all the things that are happening to you, that you are a victim of things that are happening to you. Is it not time to begin to use time? It's a time for you to use time in a brand new way. You know what that is? Begin to use time to decide which pebbles, which thoughts you will drop into the field of your awareness. It's time for you to decide what thoughts you're going to be aware of. It's time for you to decide what thoughts are you going to be aware of. What thoughts that you're going to drop into the field of your awareness, consistently, day by day, hour by hour, and even breath by breath. So what did we just hear? It's time for you to decide what thoughts you're going to drop into your awareness. It's time for you to decide what you're going to think consistently. It's time for you to decide what you're going to believe. It's time for you to decide what you're going to believe consistently, what you're going to believe day by day, hour by hour, even breath by breath. What are you going to decide to believe? What are you going to decide to think? What are you going to decide to focus your attention on? It's time for you to decide what you're going to drop into your field of awareness. Because whatever you drop into the field of your awareness, whatever you focus on all the time, that's what's going to create your tomorrows. And you cannot ever escape the reality that you are. Do you know that you can't ever escape what you are? You can never escape what you are. Whatever you are, that's what you're going to ultimately experience. Whatever you are, that's what you're going to experience. You can never escape the reality of what you are. And you can't ever escape the reality of what you're going to always be. And what you're going to always be is a miracle. What you're going to always be is spirit. What you're always going to be is mind, consciousness, love. What you're going to always be is magnitude. What you're going to always be is glory. There's nothing that you can do about that. So you cannot ever escape the reality that you are and always will be in the process of creating your tomorrows. Death will never separate you from what you really are. Death will never separate you from what you really are. And you are love. And you are beautiful. And you are guiltless. And you are spirit. And you are abundance. And you are abundance. And you are peace. And you are health. And you are wealth. And you are spirit. And you are love. And death will never separate you from it. Denial doesn't change it. You can deny that you're innocent. You can deny that you're beautiful. You can deny that you are loved, but it doesn't change it. Who and what you really are can never be changed by what you think about yourself. The love and the truth and the beauty and the power that you are can never be changed because of what you think about yourself. No matter what you think about yourself, you are loved. No matter what you think about yourself, you are loved. No matter what you think about yourself, you are one with God. No matter what you think about yourself, it doesn't change the spectacular being that you truly are. That's right, Kim. You are loved, you are loving, and you are lovable. That's right, Dana. We are love. That's right, Bridget. We are miracles. That's right, Jacqueline. We will always be love. That's right, Quana. I am always a miracle. That's right, Renew. Breath by breath. That is so true. I feel you. I feel you. Let's go on. Let's go on. What is it that you are free to decide? What is the way of master? What is the way of master say we are free to decide? It says you are free to decide what your tomorrows will be. So you're free to decide what your tomorrows are going to be like. How do you do that? Well, the way that you decide which your tomorrows are going to be like is through the act of seeking first the kingdom, which is love, which is God. So you want to seek joy, truth, reality, oneness. And through seeking love, the truth first, that's how you can decide what's going to happen in all of your tomorrows. So what does it mean to seek the kingdom first? What does it mean to seek the kingdom first? It means to rest into that inner silence. There's an inner silence. So you go into your inner silence in which you know that you are a wave. Go into your inner silence where you know that you are a wave. You are a wave, having arisen with perfect momentum out of the depth of the ocean of God's holy mind. You are a wave that has arisen out of the perfect momentum of the depth of the ocean of God's loving mind. You are a wave. You have arisen out of the ocean of love that is in your Creator's mind. Listen to me. You are a wave that has arisen from the ocean of the love in God's mind. And that what you carry with you, whatever you carry with you, what is whatever you are carrying with you? Whatever you're carrying with you is the result of the thoughts and the beliefs and the perceptions. Those are the cosmic pebbles. Whatever you're carrying around, whatever your baggage is, whatever is going on within you right now is the result of the thoughts and beliefs and perceptions that you, not your mother, not your father, not your mate, not your boss, not your co-workers, what you're carrying with you right now is the result of the thoughts and the beliefs and the perceptions that you have dropped into the wave of your awareness. So let me take that in. Okay, I'm a wave, and I have arisen from the ocean of love inside of God's mind. And everything that I'm experiencing is a result of the thoughts and beliefs and perceptions that I have let drop into the wave of my own awareness. And that's what's going on right now. Now, this very process is what created you. The process of thinking it into creation, that's how you got here. Something thought you up. Something created you. Something wanted you to exist. How do you know that's true? Because you exist. Tell yourself, I am here. I am here. I am here. That's a statement of presence. That's a statement of power. That's a statement of nowness. I am here. I am here. Something wanted you to be here. Pamela, did you know it's an ocean of love, but something wanted you to be here? Bridget, something wanted you to be here. So that's why you want to seek ye first the kingdom of God. Guess what? This very process is how you have always created, by dropping thoughts into the field of your awareness. If you have ever received an education, how did you end up with your body in the classroom? If you ever went into a classroom to learn, how did you end up in a body in a classroom? Did somebody kidnap you? Did somebody sit you down and say, here, you must learn these things? You were kidnapped, put into a room, and told, you've got to learn these things. Did that happen to you? No, that didn't happen to you. You are listening to this presentation because you are choosing to listen to this presentation. So before you came to this presentation, before you started to watch this presentation, you first had to have a thought of it. You also had to have a picture of it, and you must have placed value on it. You are here right now and you're watching this because you thought about it and you placed value on it. That's how you are having this experience with me right now. And once you wanted to have this experience, you attracted the means that carried you into the living experience of receiving the education that you have decided upon. So once you really decide what it is that you really want to experience, and you picture it and you value it, you will attract the way that will carry you into having the experience of it. So it's much more important to keep sight of your goal than to focus your attention on how you're going to achieve it. How is ultimately none of your business. How your goals are going to be achieved, how is ultimately none of your business to make up. Like the way of mastery is telling us how to achieve the goal of mastery, but it's giving us very specific instructions about how to achieve mastery. So you really didn't make up the how. Do you see what I'm saying? The how is being given to us in the way of mastery. That was not something you consciously made up, but it was your value of this. It was your thinking about this. It was your picturing this that has you in this experience with me right now. What relationship have you ever entered out of lack of awareness? What relationship have you ever entered out of a lack of awareness? None. You've never entered into a relationship out of a lack of awareness. You dropped that pebble, you dropped that thought into your mind. First, you dropped the thought into your mind, and that thought might have been, I want relationship with another being, another body, another place upon the physical planet. I want a relationship with somebody right now. You have always been doing it. You have always experienced the fruit. You've always experienced the effect of the quality of vibration of your thought, which is the pebble. You have always experienced the fruit of the effect of the quality of vibration of your thought. You have always experienced the fruit or the effect of the quality of the vibration of the thought that has created the ripples that have become your experience. You are the one that has always created the thoughts that created your experience. You are the one that's always had the thoughts that have created your experiences. So in reality, in reality, in your reality, in your experience, in reality, your experience, your awareness, what is true about you is no different than what's true about me. What's true about you is the same thing that's true about me. What's true about you is the same thing that's true about me. What's true about Yeshua, Jesus, what's true about Yeshua is also true about you. What's true about anybody else is also true about you. What's true about anyone else is also true about you. You are loved, you are loving, you are lovable, they are loved, they are loved, they are also loving. They're also lovable. You are a spiritual being, they are a spiritual being. You are experiencing the results of your thoughts, feelings, emotions, and beliefs, and they are experiencing the results of their thoughts, emotions, and beliefs. We are the same. All of us are the same. We're all experiencing the results of our beliefs and our thoughts and our perceptions. We're all experiencing the results of the thoughts that we've led into our awareness. The only difference has been that Jesus, or Yeshua, learned to train himself. The only difference between us and Yeshua is that Yeshua learned to train himself hour by hour to do what? What is it that an enlightened being trains themselves to do hour by hour? What an enlightened being does is they train themselves to think only unlimited thoughts, as the way of mastery puts it, to drop only unlimited pebbles. So the more I become a master, the more I'm going to only think unlimited thoughts. The more I become a master, I'm going to focus on unlimited thoughts of love, unlimited thoughts of joy, unlimited thoughts of peace, unlimited thoughts of union, because I know anything that I totally focus and give my attention to, that's what I'm going to see. That's what I'm going to experience in my awareness. And so if I want to see in an unlimited way, I've got to think in an unlimited way. That means I've got to send out vibrations of unconditional acceptance. I'm going to send out vibrations of unconditional love. I'm going to send out vibrations of unconditional forgiveness, unconditioned and unbridled vision and revelation. So do you see what the way of mastery is doing, Michelle? Do you see what the way of mastery is doing? What the way of mastery is doing is saying, okay, you are a creator. You're always creating. You're the ones responsible for what you think. What you are experiencing is coming from what you think. So you need to think some unlimited thoughts. But it also tells us you don't even have to figure out what those unlimited thoughts are. I'm going to tell you what those unlimited thoughts are. I want you to send out vibrations of unconditional acceptance. I want you to send out vibrations of love. I want you to send out thoughts of forgiveness. I want you to send out thoughts of unconditional and unbridled vision and revelation, while you have selected to do that only a few times. The way of mastery is saying, don't think those thoughts of unconditional love every now and then. That a master wants to focus on those thoughts and those vibrations of unlimited love every day, every hour, every minute, with every breath. That's the way you become safe. That's how you create an unconditionally loving perception. It comes from the thoughts, the beliefs, and the perceptions that you are dropping into your awareness. And you want to do it as often as you possibly can. And your goal is to do that all the time. That's right, Latricia. Jesus learned to train himself to think unlimited thoughts. So we have to think unlimited thoughts. The mistake that we make sometimes, though, is we mistake readiness for mastery. And so we think we've got to do it perfectly. From the very beginning, we've got to do it perfectly. Or that we have to believe that, and then we have to believe right off the bat that we only have unlimited thoughts. No, just drop those thoughts into your mind. Then it says, then you think those thoughts, right, of being unlimited. You think those thoughts of unconditional love. And then the paragraph says, then you rush back and pick up the pebbles of unworthiness. You go right back to thinking thoughts of limitation. You go right back to thinking thoughts of lack or fear or smallness. And you might drop 10 or 12 limited thoughts in. Then you go back. Or you might drop 10 or 12 quick ones in. Then you go back to the other cupboard, cupboard and say, here's the pebble that says, I and my Father are one. Oh, had enough of that. And back you go again. In other words, we may think these thoughts of unlimitedness that we're having right now. And then we go, there's an ego in us that goes back to those old limited worldly thoughts. You know what I'm saying? We'll get together like we're doing right now, and we'll tune into these higher unlimited thoughts, and then we'll finish this up. And before we know it, ask yourself if you don't forget a lot, and then you go right back to thinking limited thoughts. I do it sometimes. Do you do it? Do you also do it sometimes? We're the same. So while I stay on this side of the fence, saying, I and my Father are one. I and my Father are one. I and my Father are one. I am an unlimited being forever. I am an unlimited being forever. How many universes can I be the savior of today? How many universes can I be the savior of today? I and my Father are one. I and my Father are one. I am an unlimited being forever. How many universes can I be the savior of today? You and your Creator are one. You and your Creator are one. You are an unlimited being forever. How many universes can you be the savior of today? You, on the other hand, have said, you know what? That sounds good. That that idea that I and my Father are one, that idea that God and I are one, that sounds good. That sounds great to say all this stuff that we're saying in the way of mastery. But here's a pebble. Here's a thought that says my car needs to break down today. I'm having all these thoughts about me being unlimited and connected to my Creator. Here's this thought coming up about my car, baby, breaking down today. This is all there is. So you got to ask yourself. This question. Ask yourself this question. Which side of the fence are you going to sit on? Which side of the fence are you going to sit on? Which side of the fence are you going to drop the pebbles from? The pebbles of your thoughts. Are you going to be on the side of the fence that's full of love and unlimitedness? Or are you going to be on the side of the fence that's very, very limited? Are you going to drop thoughts from your unlimited self, or are you going to drop thoughts from your limited self? Which tree will you eat the fruit thereof? The tree of knowledge of good and evil? And I want you to use that symbolism well. But when you drop the pebble in the pond, when you drop your thoughts into your mind, it's like saying, when you drop thoughts into your mind, what is it like saying? It's like saying, well, I think I will take a bite of this piece of fruit. And but it's so sweet. It's so good. It's so purpose. It's so perfect. Oh, this is some really great fruit. It's so perfect. I better have a bite of the rotten fruit too, just to balance it. I know I had this really good day, but now I got to balance it out with this really what I call bad day, which is the tree of good and evil, positive and negative, unlimitedness and limitation, forgiveness, judgment, love, fear. It's like holding a beautiful flower. It's like holding this really beautiful, beautiful flower and looking at the petals of the flower and saying, oh, this flower is so beautiful. This flower is so beautiful. I can't quite take it. So I think I'll prick my finger on the thorn and bring myself back down. You don't always have to follow a high with a low. You don't always have to follow a happy day with an unhappy day. You don't always have to follow peace with conflict. That's what the way of master is saying. You don't have to do that. No one ever told you, 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 and your Creator never insisted that you eat of the tree of good and evil. You don't have to believe in the good and the bad. You don't have to believe in love and believe in fear. You don't have to believe in innocence and believe in guilt. For all the good fruit, all the loving experiences have been given you freely. All of the love has been given to you freely. Love has been given to you freely. But this is the trip. You want to know what the trip is? The trip is you are always free to choose which fruit you will eat. It's always up to you. It's up to you to choose what fruit you're going to eat, what thoughts you're going to eat, what feelings you're going to eat, what goals you're going to have. It's always up to you. And so it says here, I and my Father are one. What a blessed creation. I've been having so much fun. As this wave, I have been having so much fun. Yes, I see what I've carried along with me. Oh yeah, I see what I've carried along with me. Well, it was fun. Everything I've carried along with me was fun. I've been having a lot of fun with this EARL Purdy wave. This Earl Raj Purdy wave, I've been having a lot of fun. You've been having a lot of fun with your wave. Even when you may not have always thought you were having a lot of fun with your wave, you've been having a lot of fun with your wave. Yes, I see what I've carried along with me, but I'm going to claim it was fun. Even if it didn't seem like it, some part of me wanted all the drama, wanted the fun. And I also gained a few things. No matter what you've gone through, you've gained something through it. There's not an experience that you have ever had that you haven't gained something through it. So now, what's next? Ask what's next. Ask Spirit. So go, what's next? I wonder what's next. I wonder what's next. Well, let me throw out a few things. What's next? Unlimitedness. Bloop. What's next? Perfect love. Kerblanc. What's next? Oh, wealth. Drop that in there. Kerblanc. What's next? The ability to heal. Kerblanc. Drop that off into your mind. Kerblanc. The ability to heal. Oh, yes, I see that little pebble over there sitting on the shore that I picked up 1,000,000 times. So what is that other thought that I picked up 1,000,000 times that I don't want to pick up anymore? Well, I could pick up the thought of not being worthy. I could pick up the thought of not being enough. I could pick up the thought of being insecure. I could pick up the thought of being lonely. I could pick up the thought of being in lack. I could be tempted to pick that pebble up again. I could be tempted to pick that pebble up, that thought up again. But no more. Tell that thought, I'm done with you. I'm done with you, anger, guilt, and grievances, and fear, and not loving myself, and putting myself down, and not allowing myself to have any peace or joy. I'm done with that pebble. I'm done with that pebble thought. Tell yourself that. Tell yourself that. I'm done with that pebble of fear. I am done with the pebble of fear. I am done with the pebble of anger. I am done with the pebble of anger. I am done with the pebble of guilt, that pebble thought of guilt. Be done with it. Be done with it. Be done with it. So what is it you need to remember well? Joanne, what is it that you need to remember well? Mighty Companion, what is it that you need to remember well? You are creating your tomorrows right now. You are creating your tomorrows right now. You are creating your tomorrows right now. You are creating your tomorrows. You are creating your tomorrows. You are creating your tomorrows right now. What you experience never comes to you from outside yourself. There's nothing that comes to you that's coming from outside of you. Nothing that comes to you comes from outside of you. Nothing that comes to you comes from outside of you. What you experience never comes to you from outside yourself. Did you hear what I said? Did you hear what the Way of Mastery said? It says whatever you are experiencing, it didn't come from anything outside you. So if you're worrying about money, if you think you have a lack of money that the Way of Mastery calls golden coins, that's a thought that you drop it into your awareness and it becomes kerplunk. And when you drop those thoughts of lack and lack of money, for instance, then you begin to attract the vibrational ripples that will seem to picture back to you, reflect back to you the truth that you have chosen to believe. So if you drop those thoughts of lack into your mind, then you attract the vibrations that seem to picture back to you that you don't have enough money, or that you have lack, or that you live in lack, or that you can't get out of lack. That is coming from the thoughts that you're dropping into the field of your awareness. Whenever you say, I can't possibly talk to Yeshua, that I can't possibly talk to the Holy Spirit, Jesus, God, I'm not worthy. Kaplunk, there's another limiting thought that you dropped into your consciousness. And so you're going to set up that vibration, and everything will witness back to you that that thought is true, even though it's not true at all. And the vibrational waves that come to you are the static that restricts your ability to transcend the third dimension and plug into others. So it's your own vibration, and your vibration comes from the kinds of thoughts that you constantly focus in on. And those vibrations can restrict your ability to go beyond this third physical dimension, which is the dimension of physicality. You exist on many different levels, and there are many spectacular levels and dimensions that are open to us. But what keeps you from transcending the third dimension of duality is what? It is the thoughts, the vibrations, the pebbles that you are planting in your own mind and in your own awareness. So that even if Yeshua shouts and yells to you, hey, I'm talking to you, listen. Yeshua is talking to you, listen. Love is talking to you, listen. Well, what could possibly happen is your mind says, that's not possible. What you've been telling me, that's not possible, because I've dropped a rock of limitation into the field of my mind. And that rock of limitation, that's bigger than a pebble thought, that rock of limitation says to me, it's not possible for me to have the unconditional love and abundance and joy that Yeshua and the Way of Master is talking about. It's not possible. And therefore, I don't really hear a thing. I don't really hear the positive, loving things that you're saying right now. So I want to ask you, do you begin to get the picture? Are you really beginning to get the picture of what the Way of Master is talking about? In other words, do you begin to feel in the core of your being? Now you're beginning to feel in the core of your beingness the essence of this lesson's message. Well, let me give you the essence. Are you ready to hear the essence of this lesson's message? Here you go. You cannot escape being what you are created to be. You cannot escape being what you are created to be. In each and every moment, you are literally using that ceaseless and unlimited power to create. In each and every moment, you are literally using that ceaseless and unlimited power to create, and you are perfectly free at any time to create anew. You are perfectly free at any time to create anew. You are perfectly free at any time to create something new. What you will experience in your tomorrows, what you will experience in your tomorrows, what you will experience in your tomorrows, what you will experience in your tomorrows is only the effect of which pebbles you are choosing to drop into the field of your awareness as your thoughts right now. So what you're going to experience tomorrow is just going to be the effects of what you're thinking right now. What you're going to experience tomorrow is just going to be the effect of what you're thinking right now. What you experience in the future, so-called future, is just going to be the result of what you are drop it into the field of your awareness right now. So do you know there's only one question? Do you know that, Yeshua, there's only one question? Latricia, do you know there's only one question? Renew, my other mighty companions, Jax, do you know there's only one question? And it is this. This is the question. You ready? Am I, as a created being, made in the image of God, willing to deliberately, consciously, and actively choose being responsible for which thoughts, which pebbles are dropped into my mind in each moment? This is the question. Are you, as a created being made in the image of God, are you willing to deliberately, consciously, and actively choose to be responsible for which thoughts that you drop into your mind in every moment? Are you willing to be responsible for what you think? Are you willing to take responsibility for what you think? Are you willing to take total responsibility for what you think? That's the only question. Are you willing to take total responsibility for which thoughts that you drop into your mind in each moment? And if you say yes, I'm willing to be responsible for what I think. So then you must ask yourself this question. What do I want the new pebbles to be? What do you want the new thoughts to be? Remember, pebbles are just thoughts in this context. So ask yourself, what do I want my new thoughts to be? What do you want your new thoughts to be? What do I want my new thoughts to be? What do I want my new thoughts to be? What vibrational qualities will you call to yourself? What vibrational qualities will I call to myself? What vibrational qualities will I call to myself? What vibrational qualities will I call to myself? What vibrational qualities will you call to yourself? Ask that question right now. Say, what vibrational qualities will I call to myself? What vibrational qualities will I call to myself and thereby create my tomorrows? What do I want the new thoughts to be? What do I want the new thoughts to be? What do I want the new thoughts to be? What vibrational qualities will I call to myself and thereby create my tomorrows? See, it's right here in the way of mastery. The how is right here in the way of mastery. We're just going through it together. Anytime you react to what you believe, I say anytime you react to what you believe is outside of yourself. And you may be absolutely positive of this, that it is outside yourself. You have elected to pick up the old way of thinking that says, I'm a victim of the world I see. What I experience is caused by forces outside of me. The fault really is in my mother. It's my father's fault. It's my mother's fault for my unhappiness in childhood. It's somebody else's fault, my brother's fault, my father's fault. It's my partner's fault. It's my child's fault. Oh, the fault really is in the government. We know that the fault is in the government. The fault is in the planet. The fault is in the quality of air. The fault is really from something that's outside of me. Whenever you do that, you're picking up the old pebble. You're picking up the old pebble of fear. You're picking up the old pebble of pain. Whenever you see yourself as a victim of anything that's happening from outside of you. And the fault really is from a source outside of me, which means you're telling yourself, I have no choice but to react to it. So I want to say this to you. I want to ask you this question. Those of you who still want to see yourself as a victim and you're still blaming something or somebody else for something that you're going through right now, I want you to ask yourself this question. Would you rather be right or would you rather be happy? Would you rather be right or would you rather be happy? So, my beloved mighty companions, I want you to consider well the essence of the message that we've gotten. Because upon this message, what we're going to do is we're going to begin to build. That's what we're going to do. What are we going to do? Based on this message that we are very powerful creators, we are going to begin to build as we move toward the ending of the section that's talking about the way of the heart. This, what we talked about, this is the foundation from which those who are willing, if you're willing, this is the foundation. This is a foundation from which those that are willing can spring forth. This is your opportunity. This is where you can spring forth into a grander dimension. From what we heard tonight, you can spring forth into a grander experience. What is the grander experience? The grander experience is the experience of living as a deliberate co-creator with God. And all you need to do, what do you need to do? All you need to do is to be responsible. Responsible for what? Be responsible for owning the truth of the message of this lesson. Own the truth of this lesson. Receive the truth of this lesson. If you want to spring forth into a grander experience of living. And what is a grander experience of living? It's living as a deliberate, conscious, proactive co-creator with God. And that's how you create mastery. And I'm going to do a quick recap. Thank you for tuning in. And those of you who would like to support my teaching ministry and make a financial expression of appreciation, just go to my website, www.earlpurdy.com, Purdy.com. And you can also use Venmo, and my email address is earlpurdy@earlpurdy.com. I'm also available. Have a one-on-one with me. Have a one-on-one session with me. Have a one-on-one personal session with me. And we can together show you how to practically apply all of this in every area of your life. And if you're open to it, I also can help you out through my knowledge of astrology and numerology. That's also another way to get information. It's called a clarity session. If you want to do it, go to my website, earlpurdy.com, and look under clarity session, and it describes it in detail. And you can self-book an appointment with me right from the website. Tuesdays, 7 p.m. Mountain Time, The Way of Mastery on the Earl Purdy page. Thursdays at 7 p.m. Mountain Time, Hardcore Course in Miracles. 7 p.m. Mountain Time on Thursday on the Earl Purdy page. Sundays, A Course in Miracles, and I do it in front of a live audience at 1 p.m. Mountain Time, also on the Earl Purdy page. Follow the Earl Purdy page, please. Like the Earl Purdy page, please. Share these videos in groups and on your timeline. Let's get this message of how to create mastery. Let's get that message out. So let's do a quick recap. Let's do a quick prayer. So remember, the way that you create mastery, the way you become a master, is to let go of fear. The way you let go of your fear is not by trying to hate it or fear it or control it. The way you let go of your fear is to see all your fears as innocent and to see yourself as innocent. Your innocence is the key. Your innocence is the key. If you want to be a master, we were told that the first thing that you would remind yourself of is that you ceaselessly create, that you're always creating. Even when you are asleep, you are creating. The other thing that you tell yourself if you want to be a master is that you are going to assume 100% total responsibility for what you believe, for what you think, and what you perceive. Assume 100% responsibility for what you believe and for what you perceive. Assume 100% responsibility for it, but don't judge it. Don't judge it. So what do? We were told that what you do is just make the decision. What decision? Of whether or not you want to continue to think those thoughts. That ask yourself, do I love the results of my thoughts? Am I in an experience right now that I really enjoy the results of my thoughts? And if I don't, I've got to decide that I'm ready to dissolve those thoughts. But don't judge those thoughts. And what was another thing that we heard? Well, if you want to have a new experience, you have to let go of the idea that you are a victim. I know it can look like you are a victim. I know you could tell me all kinds of reasons why you are a victim. I know you could tell me 100 reasons why in some situation you are a victim. But let me tell you that it's not true. You are not a victim because you are responsible for how you see things. You are 100% responsible for how you see things. So the only thing that you need to decide is what? What is the one thing that you need to decide right now? You need to decide whether or not you're going to think unlimited thoughts or limited thoughts. So there's a question that I want to complete this on. And this is the question. Do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? Do I want to be right or do I want to be happy? Do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? Do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? So choose the thoughts that you would like to see manifest. Even though you're going to be tempted to go back to that old way of thinking from time to time, you want to think thoughts of unlimited love, unlimited joy, unlimited abundance. And that's not just trying to be positive. It's not just positive thinking. When you do this, you are affirming the truth of who and what you really are. And who you are cannot be changed by what you think about yourself. Who you are can't be changed by what you think about yourself. You are loved. You are loving. You are lovable. Okay, all of you incredible, mighty companions, Nicole, Deborah, everybody. This was so good. I needed this. Did you need it? I sure did need it. And I appreciate you. And I appreciate your support. And I appreciate you taking the time in your busy days to tune in to what's being said through me. Mighty companions, I love you so much. I appreciate you so much. Have a one-on-one with me. Let's get to know each other. Let me be of service to you. I appreciate you. And may the course be with you. Thank you, Pamela. I appreciate that so much. I appreciate your generosity. I appreciate all of you all's generosity. Mwah.